Mungu wa furaha yangu, wajua kunifurahisha. Hey, we ni Mungu wa kicheko changu, wajua kunichekesha kweli. Mungu wa amani yangu, wajua kunipa amani. Mungu wa imani yangu, we walinda wokovu wangu. Kwa yale yote umetenda, niruhusu nitoe shukurani, niruhusu nitoe shukurani, niruhusu nitoe shukurani, niruhusu nitoe shukurani. Kicheko, ni wewe unao uwezo wa kufuta machozi yaliyofichwa chini ya kicheko changu. Ni wewe unao uwezo wa kuona vidonda vya ndani, vidonda vya roho.
Good evening and welcome to The Nest. I'm your host, Maureen Waititu, and here we bring you real stories from real people to inspire you in your everyday life. And tonight is no different. We are joined by a beautiful, divine woman of God whose story will blow your mind, but what she does with it is what is going to blow your mind even further. Please stick around as we hear her incredible story, but meanwhile, do watch this short video and we'll be right back.
Miscarriage is the loss of a pregnancy from the uterus before the 20th week. Is there a certain time at which most miscarriages occur? What is the risk for miscarriage during every week of pregnancy? Stay tuned. First, you need to understand how the length of a pregnancy is calculated. Doctors use the first day of the period as the first day of the pregnancy. Medically speaking, a pregnancy does not begin until a fertilized egg has implanted. The problem is that people don't know when an embryo has implanted. They do know when their last period started, however. This is the reason why pregnancies are timed based on the last known period. Let's say that your period comes every 28 days. This month, because you missed your period, you did a pregnancy test on the 28th day and it came back positive, indicating that you are pregnant. At that point, you are considered 4 weeks pregnant. By day 35, you are 5 weeks pregnant, and so on. There have been a number of studies which have attempted to determine what the risk for having a miscarriage is for every week of pregnancy. This is a lot more difficult than it sounds. First of all, there are a lot of factors which can increase or decrease the risk for miscarriage. For example, the older a pregnant person is, the greater the chance for the pregnancy to miscarry. Obesity also increases the risk for miscarriage. The way that a miscarriage is diagnosed will also influence these numbers. For example, if a pregnant person is having an ultrasound every week, a non-viable pregnancy can be diagnosed sooner than just waiting for the pregnancy to pass. Okay. Given all of these limitations, I am going to give you what I feel are the most reliable numbers that we have. I put these in a graph to make the numbers easy to understand. You'll notice that there are 2 lines. Because of all the different factors which influence miscarriage risk, there is a range of risk for any given week. The red line is the estimate of the higher risk, and the blue line is the estimate of the lower risk. The area between these lines would identify the weekly miscarriage rate for 95% of pregnant people. You can notice a few things right away about this graph. The rate of miscarriage is much higher earlier in pregnancy than it is later in pregnancy. For example, during the 4th week of pregnancy, we would expect somewhere between 130 and 220 people would miscarry out of every 1,000 pregnancies. During the 5th week, the number of miscarriages is between 11 and 77 per 1,000. By the 15th week, it is between 3 and 15 per 1,000 pregnancies. Why is the rate so high in the very early weeks of pregnancy? Abnormal embryos. Human beings produce a tremendously high percentage of abnormal embryos. Stated another way, each fertilized egg has only a small chance of ending up as a live-born baby. As a reproductive endocrinologist, I provide care to people with infertility and people who are suffering from miscarriages. A common misconception I hear from patients who have had multiple miscarriages is that they believe that something is happening at a certain week of pregnancy. This is not actually what is happening. Statistically, this is when most miscarriages occur. Here's what I mean. A couple that I saw in my office recently had 3 miscarriages and no live births. All 3 losses occurred between 6 and 8 weeks. They wanted me to find out what was happening at that time that was causing them to miscarry. Well, let's look at our miscarriage data again. About 25% of all miscarriages occur between 6 and 8 weeks. That's 1 in every 4. The thing is, most people who have a miscarriage before the 5th week usually don't even know they were pregnant. Miscarriages at this early stage are usually mistaken to be a late period. Many more people know that they are pregnant after the 6th week. At that point, about half of all remaining miscarriages occur between the 6th and 8th week. Our Infertility TV bottom line is this: miscarriages are common. The number of miscarriages is highest early in pregnancy and decreases every week. Although some people have a higher risk for a miscarriage compared to others, this same pattern applies to everybody.
Welcome back. Today's guest is nothing short of beautiful, fabulous, but her story is that of tears, the ups, the downs, fascination of how one can make it through so many challenges, and the beyond of it all. Hence, beyond the tears, of which we're going to talk more about with our lovely guest, Ruth, who will introduce herself in a minute. Meanwhile, please stick around because you can afford to miss this incredible story. Ruth, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Maureen. Thank you for having me
Karibu
on your show.
sana.
I really appreciate it.
Yes, karibu sana on the nest.
Thank you.
And I know I didn't want to go too much into introducing you because no one introduces themselves better than them, yeah?
Okay.
So how would you introduce Ruth? Who is Ruth to the world?
My name is Ruth Kilemi. I am born again. I love Jesus. I come from Meru, the last born in the family of 7.
Wow.
Amazing brothers and sisters. I really thank God for them.
Yes.
I am a daughter, spiritual wise, I'm a daughter of Apostle Julius Sumbi and Reverend Mother. That is where I fellowship at Exploit Worship Center, A Way of Holiness. Yes.
Lovely. How? So many beautiful titles.
Yes.
But behind the beautiful face, there's a career woman, an author, and also a woman who is telling her story to encourage thousands of women around the world.
Yes.
So how was your life, your early childhood? Where were you born? How was it growing up with your 7 siblings, school, and all that?
You know, they say the last born receives a lot of love, a lot of pamperness and all that.
Yes.
But for me, it was the opposite way.
Oh, okay.
I grew up without a mother. My mom died when I was very young, at the age of around 2 to 3. I'm not really sure, but my mom died that period.
Yeah.
And I was left with now my grandmother, who took care of me. The age gap between my second last born sister and I, it's like 7 years.
No.
So for you can imagine.
That's a huge difference, considering all the many siblings.
So the others already in colleges, high school, and I was all alone with my grandmother, which was not that easy, honestly, without the love of my mother.
Yes, yes.
For me, I can tell even I don't know how the breast milk tastes, because I did not have the chance to breastfeed. My mom was so sick during the pregnancy, the time that she was carrying me, she was so sick, and I was told she gave birth to me at around 7 months.
Wow.
So I was kept in the nursery incubators, and then I was brought up with goat milk and cow milk. But in all, you see, God has a good plan for me. And today I'm here, Maureen, to tell my story.
Look at that. A girl who survived from a very young age on goat milk, and you know nowadays they tell mothers no cow milk until the child is at least 1.
Yes.
But you know, back in the days, it's the resources that were available.
True.
But it also shows what a true fighter you've always been, and there's a reason why God placed you at that point.
Yes.
Right. And how was it, you know, school-wise? How did you go to school and perform, and what were you interested in?
So in school, I schooled in Meru from primary to high school.
Yes.
But still it was not easy because my father was not around. He was a teacher, and you know, as a teacher, he was transferred to other schools. But in the process, my dad remarried.
Okay.
So me, I know the pain of even having a stepmother. And so my dad was always away, and we were left with this mama to take care of us. And I can see it was not easy. I don't want to go into details, but it was not easy. But the grace of God was sufficient, and the mercies of God. I was able to go through my primary levels, and I went to high school. And after high school, things changed.
What's changed, Ruth? What's changed?
So after high school, my sister took me to Nairobi. In fact, not before, even before high school. At when I was in class 7, my big sister decided to take me in. Because now she was done with college. She's a teacher. She had her own house. So she decided, instead of me suffering the Nairobi, they will accommodate me. Bring me to a boarding school. So class 7 and 8, I joined a boarding school in Chuka. So then all in this, now I used to come to Nairobi and stay with my sister. So high school, I had all the, you know, I've now been in Nairobi. I know how life is in town and all that.
As a young teen.
Exactly. As a young teen, you know. So after high school, I went to college. Of which I did not finish. You know, the peer pressure issues, you know, where you meet different kind of girls, boys, you know, and you want to try everything You know, you want to test everything.
And it's normal.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
normal.
yes.
So I tried everything. I tried alcohol, I tried cigarettes,
Yes.
and I became my sister's enemy.
I
Because
see.
that is not what she really wanted me to become.
Of course. It's everybody, you know, either a sibling or a parent,
Yeah.
a guardian. Nobody wants, you know, a person or a child who is under their care to turn into what
No.
would quote unquote say failure in any way.
Exactly.
And how was that for you? Like, what's the first time you know you said, okay, fine, let me try this? The kind of peer pressure you had around you. How did it lead you, and how far did you go into this habit?
You know, Maureen, I became alcoholic. I could not stay without alcohol. I could not stay without cigarettes.
Right.
Even in class, you're in college and these girls brings for me Tusker malt, you know, in the afternoon, you know,
my
you have
goodness.
bottles of alcohol you have put in such a bottle, you know, the teacher will only think it is
It's
juice,
water
it
or
is
juice.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was not a good thing. And I kept doing it until the time, even when I met my husband,
Okay.
I was still taking alcohol.
Alcohol, right. And maybe we can just talk a bit about alcohol addiction.
Yes.
Because a lot of young people they think about it right now in Kenya.
Yes.
It's not, a party is not a good time if there's no alcohol involved.
Yes.
And unfortunately, they come out on the other side as what we call functioning alcoholics, full-blown addicts.
Yes.
Maybe you can just, from your perspective, just elaborate a bit about your experience and what maybe people should look out for.
For me, one is the kind of friends that you associate with.
Yes.
Because for me, the kind of friend that I associated with, they're the ones who introduced me to alcohol.
Right.
Remember, I was brought up in a Christian family.
Yes.
My father was so committed in the Methodist church,
Yes.
so we are always in church.
Uh-huh.
So everyone knew the children of Kilemis are
Yes.
Christian, you know, and all
Yes,
that.
yes.
So, but when I came to Nairobi and I joined this group of cults,
Right.
I found myself drinking. From drinking, I found myself clubbing. You know, wherever you're clubbing, Paka, you're like, they close the pub and you're inside. You sleep on those couch.
No.
And you wake up in the morning. They are waking you in the morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. We need to clean.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
A young girl. So one, it's the friends. The other thing, I think also parents need to play, they need to play a big role when
Yes.
it comes to teenagers. You need to be free with them.
Yes.
One thing about my sister, she was so overprotective.
Yes, yes, yes.
Overprotective.
Yes.
And you know, the moment that I got a space.
You rebelled.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I think the parents need to balance. As much as you're protecting our children, as much as we want the best for them, we need to know how to handle them and how to train them and how even to talk to them.
Yes.
You know, for me, when I got the chance, that
Right.
opportunity, I left.
That was it.
Yes.
And I'm sure if you ask around onto so many, especially teenagers and young adults
Yes.
who end up in these habits or addicted, it's mostly because of the restrictive parenting or
Yes.
guardianship.
Yes.
And then they get an opportunity, and like, we're human beings. When you're told don't touch, that's when you want to touch.
That is, even the Bible says, when Paul was speaking about it, he said, the
Yes.
things that I don't want to do are the things that I find myself doing.
Yes.
So you find yourself touching what you know you're not
Yes.
supposed to touch.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's just the human mind.
Exactly.
All right. So fast forward, now you've gotten into this life. You're still trying, obviously, maybe to survive on this other end. Could you give us that transition to where now you've even come to meet your husband?
So I'm all alone in Nairobi. I did not finish the college
Yes.
because of not the bad behavior.
Yes, yes.
So I left the school. And so we joined, the three of us, we got a house somewhere.
Right.
So we decided to hustle, look for money.
Yes.
But most of the money we got, we just ended it on taking alcohol.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
But I can really tell you my turning point was 2013. Not 2013, 2008.
Okay.
2008.
Right.
When I met my husband. Yes.
How did you meet him?
No, that time I was working as an event organizer.
Okay.
Still taking alcohol.
Okay.
In fact, the day we met, I was so drunk. I didn't even have a shoe.
Oh, no.
One of the shoes.
Oh no. Oh no. This is why they say if someone is meant to be,
I'm telling
they
you.
will be.
So we met in an event. It was the one who was carrying the bride.
Yes.
So I'm an event organizer. We are decorating the cars and all that. And you know, during the wedding, the car of the bride, he's the center of attraction.
Yes.
So when this guy comes late, imagine you've done all the cars, they have gone to pick the bride, and now he's there. He just arrived, and I'm so mad with him. But I don't know if it was divine connection or was it.
Yes.
We really got connected. And I remember I was going back to that church because in the church compound I went to church and I told God, I pray that this man is not married and he doesn't have a girlfriend because I really want this man to be my husband.
The heart what it
And I think I was in that point where I was now praying God to give me a husband. I really wanted to settle. I really wanted to change the life now that I was living because change, it's a personal decision that you make.
It is.
You cannot force me to change. It's me personally to decide that I want to change.
That's a beautiful message.
That's how we met.
Right.
We met that Saturday. The next Friday we had a date. And meet this girl is taking Tusker Malt like water.
That was your poison. Tusker Malt.
And do you know what?
Yes.
My first date, I was like, okay, this Jamana will leave me. What do I do? But you know, I cannot control it. So the alcohol was really controlling.
Right.
And he told me, you have fun. And this is coming when you will stop and I will help you stop.
Oh, that's lovely.
So him, he did not control me. What he did, he allowed me to drink. And you know, because I was not drinking, obvious, I could not start limiting what I'm taking, how many bottles
good
I'm
influence,
eating, you know, and all that. And I found myself, I've stopped drinking. And it happened just one day that my brother had a party. And he brought many, you know, antiseptic. Give you that, great. And this is the last alcohol you're taking because it will take you to a rehab. But imagine, Maureen, I did not go to any rehab. This man helped me to stop taking alcohol completely, and I stopped.
That's amazing.
So back to our dating. We did not date for long. We dated for like, I think, you know, we met on Saturday. Then the previous week we had a date on Friday. Then the third date, you know what happened? I became pregnant.
No. Oh my goodness.
What?
Yeah.
Now remember, my family has rejected me because of bad behaviors, you know, taking all those drinking and all that. I know Maureen to had been on this one. No, I'm pregnant.
Oh no. Oh no.
So this is 2010.
Right.
2010.
Yes, and how did you feel when you found out you're expecting?
My God.
What was going through your mind?
Oh God. I just wanted to die. I'm telling you, I just wanted to die.
Right.
I never told him I was pregnant.
Okay.
But he personally called around December and he told me, I know you have my baby and I don't want you to kill that baby.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
31st, I can never forget, I was watching Totally Sold Out. You know when Totally Sold Out was on KTN or Nish, I can't remember. I remember that night I was watching Totally Sold Out and he called me that night to tell me, I know you have my baby and don't even think of doing anything because I will marry you.
Yes.
So Maureen, this guy wanted to marry me. Honestly, I only knew his first name.
Yes.
So of course. I didn't know the second name. So I only knew the first name.
Yes.
So we decided we meet again, and he decided to take me to where he stays. Nasikia where we say vitu kwa ground ni tofauti.
Zilikuwa tofauti?
So I decided to go to where he stays.
Yes.
My friend. Slums.
No.
Mukuru kwa jenga uko ndani. Nyumba za mabati.
Okay.
I cried.
You're like, what is going on? Yeah.
I cried and I'm like, oh God, no, what have I done to my life, myself, you know? How do I get myself out of this mess?
Right.
I found myself staying there. Wow. We used to steal Kenya Power, Stima, you know, tuna sambaza those electric.
No.
Wow, but it was not easy. For 1 year that we stayed there.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I lost that baby.
Oh. So sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
How far along were you in the pregnancy?
Full term. 9 months.
No.
I went to hospital. My husband did not have money to pay the doctors.
Right.
And 5,000.
Yes.
We needed 5,000. We needed 5,000, but we did not have that 5,000. So by the time he calls, the baby was already tired. He had taken that water, you know,
yes.
and I lost him.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Ruth.
It was a boy.
I'm sorry.
It is well.
I'm really sorry.
So I lost that baby. So God bless this man, and we moved from now Mukuru, Kwanjenga.
Okay.
So we went to Mombasa Road, Mlolongo.
All right, before you even tell me about Mombasa Road, yeah? At this point, looking back, do you feel that as a woman, you were at a right place in mind to see, probably, what were you seeing that made you stay there? Was it his potential, his hard work, his attitude? What were you seeing that made you stay in this place?
Let me tell you something, Maureen, and this is something that I've really encouraged young girls and young men before even they get married. These two things, you either fall in love because of situationship, or because of love. That there is that love in that relationship.
Yes.
But on my case, it was because of situationship.
Okay.
You understand?
That's very brave.
Situations led me to this marriage.
Yes.
One, I was rejected by my family, not because they're bad, but because of my bad behaviors, you know. Two, I have found myself now, because of wasting myself, taking alcohol and all that, I am pregnant.
I see.
So I don't want to make any bad decision that may make me die and all that. And now this man says, don't do this, I will take care of you.
Right.
You know?
So he had the right attitude.
He had the right attitude.
Right.
But for me, was I ready? No.
No.
But situations led me.
Wow. Ruth, this is just so incredible, because so many lessons are picked even without hearing now the real part, which we're about to come to. And I think you've already, it's a wonderful example to see that it's good to admit this is the reality. I'm here because of this person or because of this situation. And I'm sure you learned a lot from there. And we're going to take a short break so that we can hear now the rest of the story.
Okay.
I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. The story that Ruth is giving is beyond incredible. And in case you're just joining us, we've not gone too far. We are hearing about her story of grace to grace, how she rose from so many obstacles in life, and we can't wait to hear where she is today and where she's going. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.